We are approaching point scoring season, Gabe, and I see a lot of youth on one side and I see a lot of points on the other. So in a 12-team start 11 Superflex PPR, are you leaning Jalen Hurts, Tyreek Hill in a 26-second, or do you want the sexy package of Drake May, Jaden Higgins, Caleb Johnson, and Trey Harris?
It is point scoring season, my friend. Give me Jalen Hurts.
Let's talk about it.
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me. Hurt my feelings.
Welcome into the All Gas Trade Show. I'm Ty at TyDeclare44. I am joined by Gabe at IGabe_FF on X. And yeah, we're back here for another one. Let's go. We are approaching the start of the season. The Hall of Fame game is in the books. Gabe, we have real life football happening, real news, real practices, real actionable stuff. How are you doing, my friend?
I am doing fantastic, brother. Doing fantastic. This is the second show I get to record with you in 1 week, so I'm feeling great, man.
We'll talk about it. What did we do earlier this week, Gabe?
Yeah, so later this week, or I believe Sunday, right? We're going to have a redraft 1.0 mock coming out, and that was me, Ty, Shane, and Mr. Brandon. So definitely some good conversation on there. You guys definitely won't want to miss that.
Yeah, very fun. Get your redraft content in. Keep an eye for that tomorrow. But right now, you know the deal. Patreon.com/allgas. Get in the crew. Underdog. You just go to All Gas. You get your special pick and up to 1,000 in bonus cash to sign up. It's still Underdog season. Still got to get those teams in. Still got to get those builds right. So go on, get it in. Let's make sure you listen to Best Ball Night School for all your Underdog content as well and strategy. Because I need help. And Best Ball Night School has me. And you know the deal. ddfantasyfootball.com. Use code TRADES. Use code TRADEGOAT. Get into the Discord. You get a free roster review from Gabe and I. Best deal in the space, man. You get the Trinity Tracker, War Tool, JB's Tiers, and of course, you get to talk to us. Hop in voice chat. Best place you can really spend your money in Dynasty. But speaking of spending money in Dynasty, you probably paid a pretty penny for Drake May. You probably spent some good draft capital on Caleb Johnson, Jaden Higgins, and Trey Harris. So 12-team start 11 Superflex PPR. It's a 0.1 point per carry. Again, Hurts, Hill in a second. That's pretty nice. Yeah, Drake May, Caleb Johnson, Jaden Higgins, and Trey Harris. So how did this math out in your head, Gabe?
Yeah, I mean, so right off the bat, Ty, 12 by 11, we're starting to get into a little bit of a deeper format, right? And so typically in deeper formats, I kind of want to go for the package with more pieces, right? But man, if I look at this in the grand scheme of things, yes, one side is getting 4 pieces, one side is only getting 2. But I think that the 2 that the other side is receiving are really heavy hitters, man. Like, I think if they hit the way that they could hit, I think that side is going to be having some fantastic weeks for you, right? And so the way that I kind of thought about it initially is Jalen Hurts, Drake May, right? I want to try to figure out, how do I cross these off? What is that delta, right? And right off the bat, man, I'll tell you, it's more than a first, at least for me. Right. I mean, I want Jalen Hurts over Drake May. Drake May had some fantastic flashes. He looked really good his rookie year. But the reality is that it's still a little bit of an unknown situation. Jalen Hurts, I mean, he's going to be a top 5 QB, right? Pretty much year over year outside of injuries. And so whenever I kind of broke it down to Caleb Johnson and Drake May or Jalen Hurts, where are you going, my friend?
It's exactly where my mind went. The shows can be boring when we agree with each other, but that's exactly why I broke it down to. I think that's what it would take to get my Jalen Hurts. And if I really, really, really wanted to have the quarterback advantage, I might pay that, but I think I'd be on the Drake May side of that split.
Yeah, right. And so, but it's close enough, right? And I think in a 0.1 point per carry, I mean, again, I really like Caleb Johnson, and I think he's going to be really, really good with the Steelers, right? I mean, some people have said Le'Veon Bell type, right? Especially with the head coach situation there. And so on the flip side of that, though, Jaden Higgins, I'm a Texans fan through and through. And we've talked about it before, man. I just think it's a very crowded wide receiver room. And I just don't know where Jaden Higgins kind of slots in, right? I think Christian Kirk, we talked about it before, but I think Christian Kirk will be the guy who gets the majority of that wide receiver 2 work, especially early on. And so for me, if I'm looking at, a second or Jaden Higgins, I could kind of go either which way. I don't know. Which are you willing to trade your Jaden Higgins right now for a 26 second?
I think it's an interesting, right? Because you probably just spent a second to draft
yeah.
a guy.
So exactly.
And I wonder how active you were on the clock trying to kick that to a future second.
Yep.
But I think the goal is if you spent that pick on that player, again, like you spent good capital on Higgins too, the Houston Texans. And if you want to even include Trey Harris in the same conversation, right? Like those are the kind of players. Like I feel like, man, like I'm probably going to hold out and wait for a flash and bet that I can get more than a second. Yeah. So if you accept me a straight second today, I might make a bet on one of those guys in the right league.
Yeah.
So it's probably square, but I'm honestly going to lean to one of the players, whether it be Higgins or Harris, over a straight second.
Yeah, and then I'll tell you, for me, one thing that is not square is Tyreek Hill for any of those other two guys. You can take your pick. I want Tyreek Hill over both of those guys. Yeah. So again, just the ceiling opportunity, and that's that. I am very cautious right now on Tyreek Hill and just the situation at hand. Right, obviously he's an older veteran wide receiver, but he's the type of guy, Ty, that if he hits, I mean, his ceiling is miles higher than anybody else on the other side.
If you get triple crown Tyreek Hill, it's probably not close. Right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, but even then, like, even if you were to get high-end wide receiver to Tyreek Hill, I can probably assure you now that Jaden Higgins and Trey Harris are not going to be wide receiver twos.
All right. Looking at JB's tiers. Okay, so what was it? So Jaden Higgins and Trey Harris are one tier below Tyreek Hill. Okay.
Yeah.
Looking at startup data from June onward using Dynasty Data Labs, Tyreek Hill, pick 81, wide receiver 31, so middle of the 7th round. Jaden Higgins, middle of the 8th. Trey Harris, middle of the 9th.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Tyreek Hill is probably going ahead of those guys. But all the guys are going in the range of those players, man. At 12 by 11, it's all players that I'd be willing to blow a second on if it fits my team. Yeah. Right. So I think it's a very good deal. I think it matters what your motivation is. If we had more team context, it might push us one way or the other. Like I said, if your goal is to really try and take advantage of the quarterback and the point per carry and all that, and you want to get hurt, cool. But a lot of people are projecting that rushing profile into Drake May as well. Maybe way too high of an expectation, but people like May, I like the idea of getting Caleb Johnson here on this team in this deal. And then you split Tyreek Hill for Jaden Higgins, Trey Harris. And I agree, Gabe. Today, it's Tyreek Hill over those wide receivers. How long is it going to take if Tyreek Hill and Miami look similar to what they did last year and one of those rookies flashes? Like how quick can that change?
I mean, it can change really fast, right? But on the flip side of that too, if he goes out there and starts showing flashes, that can flip pretty fast too, right? I mean, we talk about a guy like Christian McCaffrey right now, who you either love him or you hate him, right? I mean, sure, Christian McCaffrey goes out there and has a couple stinkers, you're not going to get anything for him. But if he goes out there and does some really damn good things, guess what? You're not going to be able to grab him. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of one of those things where you're just going to have to ride it, man, until the wheels fall off, like a Derrick Henry type of player. And so I just think Tyreek Hill could be a very big difference maker in a league like this, towards where I'm just willing to take the bet, because at the end of the day, you're still getting the best asset in the deal.
Yeah, everyone loves you when you're scoring points, right?
Yeah.
So, yep, I'm interested to see how this one kind of plays out in season. But thank you, Stales, for getting us started, and you let us know. You want Hurts, Hill in a second, or do you want Drake May, Caleb Johnson, Jaden Higgins, and Trey Harris in a 12 by 11 Superflex PPR? Sweet. Slippy. 10 teams, start 10. It's a 2-quarterback league, PPR. It's a 0.5 tight end premium, +4, -1 quarterback scoring. So you get 4 points for a passing touchdown, -1 for an interception. Okay, I have 2 questions for you. One, in a 10 by 10, 2-quarterback. So the Superflex isn't involved there. Does that change your valuation at all on quarterback in this kind of a league format? And in this league format, are you setting away your Kyron Williams, Kyle Williams, and a 26 third for Daniel Jones, old Danny Dimes, a 27 first, and a 27 second? Talk to me.
Man, 10 by 10, 2-quarterback, right? So for me, Ty, normally in a 10-team league, Superflex, I don't really care too much about the quarterbacks because they're kind of a dime a dozen, right? You got 32 starters. There's plenty to kind of go around. And I almost kind of feel the same way in this type of format, right? Where it is a I get it. It's a 2 QB, so you have to start 2 at all times. But the reality is that even if each team had 3 quarterbacks, that's still 30 quarterbacks. There's still 2 extra that are starting on a team any given week. So it doesn't really make me that excited or, that motivated essentially to want to buy a quarterback. So again, given the right context, given what the team looks like, I do believe that there's a world though where Daniel Jones could be the starter for Indy. I know there's been flashes from both Daniel Jones, but there's also been flashes from Anthony Richardson. It's going to be interesting to kind of see how that situation plays out. But I definitely want Kyren Williams over a random 27 first, man. Just 10 by 10, he could be a very nice difference maker in a format like this, right? Where he definitely could finish as a RB1, right? He has that type of profile. I think we've talked about it, but with Adams there, I think Adams could open up that offense even more. Stafford looked for him outside in the passing game as well. I think he's got a lot of good things going for him, and I'm willing to send a 27 first for Kyren Williams pretty easily. So I'm going to lean the Kyren Williams, Kyle Williams, and 26 third side, my friend.
The Williams X Williams package.
Williams, yeah. Williams squared.
Yeah. Any Williams you can throw in the package, I agree. I'm leaning that side. Yeah, in a 10 by 10 league, I'm trying to find a way to take my Daniel Jones, attach it to a first, get credit for that, and try to get into a guy like a Kyren Williams.
Yeah.
Kyle Williams in a third for a second. Sure. Yeah. Sure. Right. Yeah. But yeah, this is all about getting into Kyren Williams, get into difference maker. And I agree. 10 by 10, 2 quarterback, one, whatever. You're not optimally starting your lineup if you don't have 2 quarterbacks, right? It's going to be optimal to have 2 quarterbacks, one way or the other. So I don't really care about the quarterback super flex or having to start 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Maybe just want to have my construction right more in this 2 quarterback versus valuing the quarterback more. But yeah, I think this is so let's break down the team. Does it change how we feel at all? So
okay.
The picks we got back are from the 101 holder for the last 2 years. Okay. And we expect that pick to be early. Okay. So
he hasn't done anything the last 2 years.
Hasn't done anything the last 2 years. He's not doing anything this year or next year. We're doing a 5-year rebuild plan on this team. Okay. The team. Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, and Cans. We have Bijan, Hampton, RJ Harvey, Spears, and Cans. We have Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Nico Rome, Marvin Harrison Jr., Hill. We got McBride and Mason. So this is a nasty, nasty team. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So it can feel like you're trading from your excess to take the shot on what could be an early first. Again, you're not missing Kyle Williams in that wide receiver room at all. Kyren Williams, that's interesting, right? If one of those rookies doesn't do what you think they're going to do, you'd probably want Kyren Williams in a 10 by 10. Yeah. And you might want to shove Kyren in your flex. But Rome, Marv, Hill, we just talked about Hill, right? One of those guys, you already kind of have lineup headaches as it is. So I think it makes sense to try to get into picks, but is this one of those ones that maybe you would have waited to try to wait up for a better deal or shop it around before you accept this deal?
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think, Ty, you could have gotten a 27 first and a 27 second, I feel like, at any given time, right? That's just kind of how I feel about the situation. But let me ask you this, okay? Knowing that he does have Bijan, Hampton, RJ Harvey, fantastic, right? He's loaded at quarterback, he's loaded at wide receiver, and he's got Trey McBride, just kind of hanging out there. That guy, Trey McBride. Yeah, just hanging out there. Is it worth, though, kind of de-risking yourself, man, from some of these running backs, right? Like, at the end of the day, every position gets injured, but we've seen RBs are the ones that people give up the most or the fastest give up the fastest on, if you will. And so if anything were to happen to any of these running backs, it's kind of like, I don't really want this guy anymore. And so do you think in a format like this where you can always buy a guy, I just mentioned you could sell him for a first and a second pretty much at any given point. On the flip side of that, you could probably buy him at any time for that same price. So is it worth de-risking yourself, getting the flexibility, and then if you ever need that opportunity to buy him again, just circling back and you could buy a guy like Kyren Williams? Is that something that you're interested in, or are you just like, nah, I'm going to hold out?
I think it's definitely a path there because let's be honest, right? RBs are mostly 1 year bets, right? With the hope they have an extra year, right? But the dynasty value of running back is more so in what they're doing for you versus what they can get for you on the market. So if your goal is to be more flexible to reduce your risk, yeah, it makes a lot of sense to get into a first, especially one that your betting is going to be early based on what history has told you. And I mean, Kyren, this feels like a deal where you're scared on Kyren falling off. You're scared of the fumbles coming back, maybe an injury, maybe something happening. So you're making a move to get off of the Kyren Williams. You package up the Kyle Williams to get the deal done as well because the guy loves Williams as a name. Like I said, you get another quarterback back, you get the first and second, sure.
Yeah.
My thought here is if I'm making this move, Gabe, I'm probably then making a move to try to get Jarquez Hunter and make a double bet against Kyren Williams here. Is if I send him away, then also bet that if something happens, I can have his backup in tow to make up for that value as well. So it feels like one of those ones that's not an ISO deal for me. It's a stepping stone to something else. But I mean, looking at this team here as well, like I'm not in a hurry really to upgrade in many of the spots here. 10 by 10, 2 quarterback. You got more than enough at quarterback. You're loaded at running back, loaded at wide receiver, and you got Trey McBeast at tight end. So, 10 by 10, you already have a pretty kick-ass team. It's just about, how much do you want to put the foot on the throat of your competition right here, or does it make sense to kick it out to the first? So I get the reasons why, but I think we're kind of both on the same page as maybe there was a better deal,
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I'm right there with you. Like I said, I think I understand why you did it. I think you could have gotten the same deal, though, a couple weeks from now. Obviously, outside of injuries and different things like that, I think you could have gotten this deal a couple of weeks from now. Or maybe you could have gotten a little bit more if Kyren started to go out there and just do Kyren Williams things.
Right. Yeah. The season's right around the corner, man. We're so close. But thanks, Slippy. Appreciate you, dude. All right. Stebo, big Stebo, friend of the show. We got a 8-team start 12 PPR tight end premium.
8-team.
Gabe, do you play in 8-team leagues?
No, I don't play in 10 either.
Yeah. How do you value a quarterback in an 8-teamer?
You don't. Outside of the top 4 guys, maybe top 5, you don't. You just don't.
Studs or duds. Okay, so you're looking for ways to kind of manipulate that value. So Steve has 2 trades for us here. So the first one, he sent away Baker Mayfield, RJ Harvey, a 27 second and a 27 third for Tua, Drake London, and a 26 second. So if I'm hearing you correctly, you're really not spending a lot to go from Baker to Tua. So are you sending your Baker Mayfield away for Tua and a second?
I mean, in an 8-team, I think I would, Ty. I think I would be right there, man. Again, I think obviously I want Baker Mayfield 1 for 1, but with it being an 8-team, I'm hoping that neither one of these guys is my QB1, and I hope to have something better, right? Or at least something better week to week that I could bet on. So yeah, I'm willing to give up that I'm willing to give up the quote unquote better asset for the flexibility, because again, you can buy QBs at any given time, man, in an 8-team league.
Yeah. Gotcha. So I'm with you there. I mean, I think a second, like I would be even kind of difficult, especially if I'm already constructed well at quarterback, to have motivation to do that deal. So I like that piece. And then, so you trade away RJ Harvey, a second and a third and 27 to get out to Drake London in the wide receiver room. We don't have any team context, but in general, how do you feel about moving from that RJ Harvey over to Drake London, adding a second and a third to get it done?
Yeah, man. I mean, RJ Harvey, guy that we really like. We really like him. I know that we've been really vocal, and I know we've been in a couple of rookie drafts together. So we've drafted RJ Harvey in a lot of spots. And so somebody that we're really, really excited about, but I don't want to discredit the fact that he's still a rookie and he's still going to have competition in that backfield, right? I understand that, we're all super excited about it, but again, Drake London, man, he has produced consistently now at this point. Like, he was really, really good last year, and some people think he's going to continue to ascend in this offense, right? And so for me, I'm willing to trade my RJ Harvey and a 27 second and that 27 third to get into a guy like Drake London, man.
Yeah, that's also not that close for me. Yes, start 12 is start 12, but really not that close for me. What is that? 96 starters? Is my math right?
Yeah.
Look at me. Look at that.
Hey, that Canada education.
Ooh, baby, don't doubt it. Yeah, we didn't close our Department of Education. Anywho, yeah. So I mean, I am trading RJ Harvey at a second and a third for Drake London. I am moving my Baker for Tua and a second. JB's tiers agrees. I'm looking at John Bauer's tiers here again. Use code trades, trade goat, get in here. RJ Harvey is right around that like tier 7, 52 to 63 range, about a 27 first in value. I'd want more than a 27 first for RJ Harvey personally. Mid 26 first, somewhere in there. And yeah, Drake London, you got to scroll all the way up to find him.
But let me ask you, I mean, is there a world where J.K. Dobbins, man, gets the nod at first, right? And he's just kind of the guy at the very beginning. Like, is there a world where that happens and then the community's like, dang, maybe Harvey wasn't the guy that we actually thought because he got blown out by the guy who has 2 busted MCLs, ACLs, whatever the injuries were at the time, right? I mean, is there a world where that happens? I do think so.
Running backs are never going to get 100% of the work, even Saquon.
For sure.
Right? Like no one's going to get 100% of the work, and I feel like that's something we get. Like, oh, it's just this guy and no one else. Well, no, that's not how it actually works. You're probably looking more like a 60% role. And I can absolutely see a world where J.K. Dobbins is getting 12 plus carries a game. But guess what he's going to be jamming up the damn A gap over and over again. And we can let RJ Harvey be an efficient running back, do what he does well, right? Kind of like what Alvin Kamara said like he wants. Like I can see that comparison there, right? So yeah, I'm also looking at Dynasty Daddy's trade database here. We have 2 trades in the last 24 days where Drake London's on one side, RJ Harvey's on the other. They're both pretty messy deals, Gabe, but the one from one day ago, Drake London on one side. Other side, we got Brandon Ayuk, Xavier Legette, RJ Harvey, Chris Godwin, and a first at 12 by 10.
Holy
is right. 24 days ago, we also saw RJ Harvey, DJ Moore, J.K. Dobbins, and a 26 first being traded for Drake London, Isaiah Pacheco, and a 26 first. So no matter how you cut it, it seems like the plus side needs to be on the RJ Harvey side.
Yeah. And it's more than a second and a third.
A little more than a second and a third. Yep. And again, the quarterback swap, I'm cool there. So firmly on Steve-O's side here. Good stuff. Let's see if we're there for the second deal as well. Made one, then this dude wanted the stack. Okay, so you just traded him Baker. Now he wants Mike Evans. He'll just send you that T. Higgins for you. Just give me that
casually.
T. Higgins.
Yeah, no big deal. No big deal.
Plus,
he's always injured anyway.
Yeah, who wants him, right? Yeah, he's great for 4 games a year. Yeah, I mean, this isn't particularly close for me, dude. Like, I love Evans. I think he might score more than T. Higgins, especially if Higgins can't stay healthy. But think about what you can do with Higgins versus what you can do with Mike Evans in Dynasty. Just straight up.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, does seeing this deal make you feel any different on the Drake London deal? Just thinking of what the wide receiver market could be in this league. Like, is wide receiver depressed in this league for some reason?
No, I think Steve-O just found himself a fish, and yeah, he went fishing, man. Caught himself a big old one over there. I think really is kind of what it breaks down to. I mean, again, overall, yes, some people value stacks a little bit more. So I will say that kind of does come into play sometimes, right? People are like, I need the stack or whatever that entails. But no, man, T. Higgins over Mike Evans for sure, especially in a dynasty format, man. I mean, just what you can do. Again, Mike Evans appeals to one type of team, and it's the contending team. I know we're about to get into point scoring season, but again, the floor falls out fast, man, on some of these older wide receivers. And give me T. Higgins. That's
sick, Steve-O.
Jeez, like just disgusting. Good job, buddy. You know what you did. Okay, so I'm gonna. This is more of a bit of a theory here. Okay, so Chalupa Batman. Okay,
all right.
12 by 8, 1 quarterback. It's a 0.5 PPR. It's a pretty vanilla league. Okay, so Chalupa Batman, also great name. Shouts out the league. Full rebuild mode, tanking. Didn't even want a cornerstone asset with a running back, even if it's Bijan. So a team that's not ready for Bijan, he knows that. He's trying to move off of that cornerstone value for more. Okay. So this message here, a top 4 contending team offered this text deal, but I don't know if those will be late first. Didn't want to take on the headache of reconstructing his whole team to roster those seconds and a relatively weaker wide receiver in an RB heavy class. So in this deal, it would be a 26 first, a 27 first, 201, 202, 210, 212, and a 26 second for Bijan Robinson in a 12-by-8 one quarterback. So on the surface, Gabe,
it sounds like a lot of noise.
Yes. And it's a lot of things that you have to hit the button on draft right here, right now for that 2-1, 2-2, 2-10, 2-12. And I like having those seconds this year, right? You can add a lot of running backs, you can do that stuff. But like Chalupa Batman said, is he's not really in a point scoring mode, and he'd kind of rather take the insulated value versus some noise. And he thinks that those picks are probably going to be later. So we have one team that's clearly contending, saying how many of these things I duct tape together to get a difference maker. If you're in Chalupa Batman's shoes, are you comfortable with this deal? Are you not accepting it because of all the noise, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I think this is a really interesting deal, man. And I will say, anytime that you can get 2 first plus for a running back, it's usually a pretty good process, right? But again, knowing that this team is a top 4 contender, Ty, and it's a 1 quarterback league, man. 1 quarterback leagues, again, positional players get pushed up, right? And so that 112 is actually kind of more like a 203, 204 now, right? Because again, quarterbacks fall, positional players get pushed up. So the guy that you were looking at normally at that 112 is usually gone a lot earlier. So again, man, I think that 201, 202, it normally would appeal to me, right? Because you can get pretty good guys, I mean, in this draft right now. But knowing that it is a 1 quarterback league, it just doesn't make me that excited. And knowing that it's a top 4 team also, I feel like I would want a little bit more security for giving up Bijan, because at the end of the day, really what I'm seeing here is like 2 late firsts. With getting Bijan on your team, you're probably going to be from a top 4 team, probably closer to a top 2 team. If I had to sit there and guess, again, obviously I don't know what the teams look like, but Bijan's pretty damn good. And
hot take.
Yeah, hot take, right? Hot take. That 201, 202, 210, 212, it just 210, 212 just kind of sounds like noise to me, man. Doesn't really make me excited at all. So I'd probably want a little bit more.
Yeah, and in that 0.5 PPR format, I mean, it boosts Bijan up. It feels like you are not interested in Tyler Warren and Colston Loveland. We're not interested in Jackson Dart at cost in a 1 quarterback league. You're probably reaching on a Scattaboo, settling for like a Luther Burden or something like that, or one. So, yeah, I'm not overly excited about those seconds. It's not a bad trade, right? No. 5 seconds and 2 firsts for Bijan. Like if you're trying to kick it, like I don't mind it. But again, it's probably not one of those deals that I'm opening up with.
Well, and you said it's a 12-by-8, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so think about that too. 96 players, right? You talked about it before. 8 players, Ty, that you're starting in your lineup every single week. I don't care, man, don't get me wrong. I like Cam Scattaboo. I like Luther Burden, right? I like Matthew Golden and some of these other guys, right? I'm obviously a little bit concerned about Golden situation, but that's besides the point. But I'm not excited to put those guys in a start 8 lineup, man, week to week. Like outside of them going out there and actually starting to produce and show something, that's just not the type of team that I'm wanting to construct, right? You're not going to feel comfortable starting Cam Scattaboo week to week, especially week 1. You're not wanting to start that Jaden Higgins. You're not wanting to start Jack Bett. You know what I mean? Like you're just not wanting to do that. And I feel like that's the type of players that you're going to be looking at with those 201, 202s, 210s, 212s.
So let's see what Chalupa Batman ended up doing.
All right.
So he's here Bijan for a 26 first and a 27 first. So a bottom 3 team, Gabe.
Okay. I thought it was still the same package. I was like, how did we go? Where did the seconds go?
So we felt like this was better value since I'd essentially be holding mine plus their early first for the next 2 years instead of loading all the other fluff picks. So the team that looks like a bottom 3 team is trying to get that cornerstone asset by using those picks now. Not really a move I want to make. the Chalupa Batman's team. So he has Drake May, T Law. He's got Charbonnet, Braylon Allen in cans, JSN, DJ Moore, Olave, Jacoby Myers in cans, likely Sanders in cans. He's got 108, 111, 112 and 2/3 in this year's draft. Not drafted yet, so must be coming up pretty soon here. 26 picks. We got 2 early first and 3 seconds. And we have 2 27 first, which could be early, especially one is his and if one is this other team. So Gabe, if those 2 firsts are early or at worst random and probably not playoff, do you feel better about that, or would you have taken the 2 later first with the 5 seconds?
No, I still think I would want the earlier picks, right? Because again, even if you were to say, let's just play this out in a scenario, Ty, real quick. If I'm giving you the 110, a 201, and a 202, does that get your 103?
Not in this league.
No, it doesn't, right? And so for me, again, just playing that out, it's the same thing on the other side. 103 in 2027 does not, I mean, if you give me the 210, 212, and the 110, 109, it still is not going to get that 103, 104 in 2027. So no, I want the earlier picks for sure. Again, anytime that you can get 2 first plus for a running back, I mean, it's probably a good process play. And I understand where he's going with this. And at the end of the day, if selling Bijan makes your pick better, I can get behind it. I do think that you left a little bit of meat on the bone with this deal, especially given the shallowness of it. I feel like guys like Bijan, Gibbs, Saquon, players like that just are locked and loaded in your lineup every single week should cost more, man. I mean, that's how I feel. They should cost more. And so I understand why you did it. I probably would still want Bijan, but I can't fault you for doing it.
Bijan's 12.5% of your starting lineup.
Correct.
Ding. But yeah, so yes, I agree. I want to align my team where I can get off of that Bijan point to what he's going to do to the roster so I can make my pick better. But I don't want to be in a hurry to do that either. And yes, if those 2 first are early, I think that'll play out in the wash. Yeah. There's few players who I am willing, and other league mates are going to be willing to send 3+ first for. I think Bijan probably should fall into that in a 12-by-8 1 quarterback league.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not jumping up and down to make this deal. I do like the 2 early first better than 2 late first and a bunch of noise, but your projection has to be right there, right? If adding Bijan to that other team makes that the 106 and 108 in 2027, I don't feel as great about it. But I also see that this deal was probably based on the picks you have coming in, how you're constructing the team and all that. I mean, Gabe, he has some decent stuff. It's probably a middling team, right? There's nothing, it's not eye-popping me as like a strong contender. So I definitely want to make some of these more moves. I'd love to kick out the 108, 111, 112 to future first if I can, but that's few and far between at this point.
Okay, so. but all right. So looking at the team, right?
Yeah.
Again, having Bijan as your running back 1, right? Before this deal, you still had 108, 111, 112. You still had a 26 first and a 27 first. Looking at this team, start 8, man. You don't think you could have pushed in 5 firsts worth of value because you have 5 firsts, right? 108, 111, 112, 26 first, 27 first. You don't think you could have pushed in with this team and really made it a good contender? I feel like you could have, I mean, obviously at that point you're leveraging more of your picks and I get it, but dude, I know you could do DJ Moore in a first plus to get yourself into a better receiver, right? I know you could go and spend 2 firsts and probably get yourself a pretty good tight end. Now, I'm not saying Brock Bowers, but again, you could probably go and get yourself something nice. You could put another first in and go get yourself another running back, and you're right there. I think this team had a lot more potential than maybe you gave it credit for.
Yeah.
Again, and now, obviously, with the moves that you've made, what I would be doing now that you've sold Bijan is you got to get rid of DJ Moore. You got to get rid of Olave. Got to get rid of Myers. Like these, you have no reason to have these guys on your team at this point because all they're doing is they're just liabilities for you. And so if anything happens with any of these players, you're not going to be able to get much for them. JSN, I'm willing to hold. But again, obviously in the right context, I'm willing to sell him too. But DJ Moore, Olave, Myers for me really have to go.
They're only going to affect your potential points at this point.
Yeah.
It feels like a conversation. Like, do you want to park your money in a smart spot, or do you want to strip it to the studs, right? And then how do you want to kind of approach it? So, yeah, I'm curious what the people think there. If they would take one deal over the other, or no deals in this scenario, or what they would do. But I am curious. I want you to put a pin in this one, okay, Chalupa, and I want you to hit us back up. Let us know what those picks become. Right, and what happened with the team that got? I want to know
Jeremiah Smith. Jeremiah Smith.
If it's Jeremiah Smith, then fleece, right? But yeah, cool. Thank you. Gene Parm. He again, check out Sunday's mock draft. Gene Parm drafted out of the 101, had the chase and killer running back build. It was pretty nice. But in this one, a 12-team start 10 superflex, 2 PPR, and a tight end premium. Sorry, PPR. I'm assuming 2 PPR for tight end. So one side of the deal here, Amon-Ra St. Brown and Chris Olave. The other side, Devontae Smith, Nico Collins, and a 2026 fourth. Gabe, you know what I'm going to ask you, right?
And I'm prepared to answer it.
Okay, Nico Collins or Amon-Ra St. Brown?
It's a wash for me.
Talk to me, baby.
And I feel like that might be maybe a little hot takey. But dude, Nico Collins is that dude. He is damn good. So is Amon-Ra St. Brown. Nothing to take away there. But man, Nico Collins is kind of all that the Texans have. Don't get me wrong. I know they have Christian Kirk. They got Jaden Higgins. They've drafted Jalen Noel. Like, I get it. But it's Nico Collins, man, in Houston. It is Nico Collins and Joe Mixon, and that is it.
And Joe Mixon has 1 foot. So
exactly. Right. So Nico Collins is going to get fed. And Amon-Ra St. Brown is very damn good as well. So for me, I think it's a wash. I think it's a take your pick on who you feel like you like more. Again, one I feel like has more competition, but it also opens up the offense a little bit more. Having a Jahmyr Gibbs, having a Sam Laporta, having a Jameson Williams on your field is usually a pretty good thing for your coverage. Whereas Nico Collins obviously will probably get double covered a little bit more. But that offense runs through both of these guys.
Yeah. Looking at Dynasty Data Labs, ADP, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown early part of the second. You got Nico Collins in the middle to back end of the second. So people will prefer Amon-Ra over Nico, but I'm even looking at John Bauer's tiers. One after the other. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Nico Collins, like they are in the same tier, same pocket. So I don't think it's that spicy, but I think general consensus, people are going to say 1 for 1, gun to my head, I want Amon-Ra over Nico, which is fine. But I'll tell you what, I want Devontae Smith in a fourth over Chris Olave.
Easily.
I'm assuming
Smitty 1 for 1 against Chris Olave is it's Smitty. Not close.
Yeah. Trying to see where does so Smitty is in that RJ Harvey, Trey Henderson area for JB, and then Chris Olave is a tier down. Yeah. So JB agrees, I agree. I'm sure ADP agrees with those two. Yeah. I mean, just looking at so let's add a little more context, right? So old Gene Parmesan, he already had the Lawrence Brian Thomas Jr. stack, and he loves having the Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown stack now as well. Feels like Olave's ADV has room to grow. If he has one good game, he can flip him for more than Devontae. I will agree that Olave has more room to grow.
Yes, I agree with that.
I'm not sure if after one game I can flip him more for Devontae though.
And I agree with that. So 1000%. He has room to grow. People really liked him, but at the end of the day, like, it's not after one game. Like, this has been coming for a little bit with Chris Olave. It's not like he just had one injury and then it's like, oh, this guy, he's done. But it's been a routine for him, man. And the situation in New Orleans is not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
What it'll take is, we got Ray pumping up Olave with the Trinity score because he's making things happen through the first 4 weeks, and we're like getting excited because he's scoring points. He's looking good. He's the only option. If that happens, I think the floor can raise and you have that move on Olave. But if I have to make that bet and all I have to do is swap Nico and Amon-Ra, I think I'll probably just take the Smitty value now and just bet that, hey, it's a consolidated offense. Yes, he's not going to ascend, but I like what he can be and where he's at. So if your goal is upside, I totally understand Amon-Ra and Olave. I think that this is a very pro Nico show, but even with that, I don't think it's outlandish to say that Nico and Amon-Ra same arena. Smitty and Olave, I want Smitty in a fourth.
Yeah.
All right. I am curious what the people think. What are we way off? Is Amon-Ra way above Nico? Is Olave the guy to have for ascension value, for upside? You let us know. 12 by 10.
I think I need to get myself a Nico jersey at this point.
I'm surprised you don't have one already, man.
Yeah, same.
Shane says, and Charles Chill FFB, my brethren of the Dynasty Deal Show, Fridays live 9 p.m. Eastern on the channel, members only. We answer every trade put in front of us. $3.99 a month. Come on, check it out. It's real fun. Shane, in a 12 by 13 Devy league, tiered PPR, so a 0.5 for running backs, 1 for wide receiver, 1.75 for tight ends, a 0.15 point per carry, and 6-2 quarterback scoring. Shane sends away Malik Neighbors, Quinshon Judkins, and a 2026 third. Gets back Jamison Williams, Brian Thomas Jr., and Woody Marks. I have no other context, no other banners to pull up. This is all we have, Gabe. So right. I need you to help me math this one out here. JMO, BTJ, and Marks, or Neighbors, Judkins, and a third in a 12 by 13 Devy league.
Well, shout out to Shane and Scott. Oh, man. I've been very vocal about how I feel about Quinshon Judkins lately. Again, obviously knowing the situation and everything, I think there's still a really good chance that he doesn't get suspended this year, and he's going to be pretty good at football, if I had to guess. If he gets on the field, if and when he gets on the field. I am curious, and I think I know where you're going to go with this, but Malik Neighbors or BTJ 1 for 1?
Malik Neighbors, please.
Yeah, pretty easily.
If it's 1 for 1, yeah, I have no motivation to move off my Neighbors for that.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's probably a lot closer.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I think I'm right there with you. I want Malik Neighbors over BTJ. Quinshon Judkins or Jamison Williams?
See, now that's interesting.
And a 0.15 point per carry, where a guy like Judkins is going to get fed, man.
Yeah.
Going to get fed.
That's literally a bet on, is Judkins going to play early? Is he going to play often? And when he does play, what is he going to do? And do you want to stick around to find out? So I think Jamison Williams, I don't know how much ascension value he has, but he is what he is, where you can start him. He might put up a stinker, but he may also score you 20 plus points, right? So there's a place for those guys in my lineup. But if I'm thinking long term and what it can do for my roster, Quinshon Judkins, we talk about ascension value, right? Well, we've seen the value descension. I think there's a path for him to regain that value and jump back up if, once things are over and if he shows well, cool. But there's also so much wrong that can go on in Cleveland. I'm going to jump to the finish line here, Gabe. If you give me JMO and Woody Marks, and I have to give you Quinshon in the third, I think it's a square deal, but I'll lean JMO and Marks.
Yeah. And so does that gap close for you, though, with BTJ and Neighbors?
Yes, it probably should. Again, I think it's a very square deal.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's a good deal. And to your point, I think it's a bet on Quinshon Judkins, right? Yeah. What do you believe is going to happen right now? I feel like is a really good buy low opportunity. And we've kind of talked about that on previous shows, right? I don't think right now is the best time to sell unless you don't want to risk it, right? Like you're just like, hey, the risk is greater than the reward. I'm not willing to chance it. Let me just go ahead and wipe my hands clean. At the end of the day, I think Scott is getting the best asset in the deal, right? Obviously not by much, but I do think Malik Neighbors is the best asset in the deal. And you're also telling me that I get the guy too that could have the highest ascension, right? I think there's something there for me, man, where I'm willing to take that gamble, right? At the end of the day, if I'm wrong, don't get me wrong, it sucks, but I miss out on a Jamison Williams and I still get the best wide receiver in the deal, right? Jamison Williams, again, I think he eclipsed 1,000 yards last year, barely, but again, I think he was right there if I remember correctly.
Don't quote me, but I might be able to find out if you keep talking.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, but what I'm saying is, sure, I get it. You miss out on a Jamison Williams, which isn't fun, but sometimes, man, you got to take the gamble, right? Like you have to do something different in order to get an edge on your league mates. And I think if Quinshon Judkins is if he does what we think he can do, I am going to be happy that I took that Quinshon Judkins at cost for Jameson Williams.
Yeah. Jameson Williams in 15 games, 91 targets, 58 receptions, 1,001 yards, Gabe.
I told you he eclipsed it. I told you.
You did. That was the finest of margins to get that take right, and you nailed it, my friend. So good work.
Oh man.
I'm looking at ADP right now, and I don't know if it's fully caught up yet, but JMO is still at least a round and a half behind Judkins in startup data.
That's
Fantasy Calc has Judkins as their 72 overall player.
Okay.
Jameson Williams as their 67th overall player. JB has Jameson Williams a tier down from Quinshon. I know JB is kind of in a wait and see mode with Quinshon. So I think this is the pivot point bet time, right? Of what you're going to do with Quinshon. And if you can accomplish something else in the deal, I like what you're doing there. So for Scott, the upgrade to Malik Neighbors, getting the liquid third for Woody Marks, motivated him to do that. I'm curious what the rest of his team looks like. On Shane's side, he gets 2 starters and what he hopes can be a mix and replacement, or not even probably honestly Mixon probably doesn't impact what Woody Marks was going to be, the receiving back, and that's his role, right? So just betting that Woody Marks has that role and he is a contributor in your roster. So I think it's a good deal. I don't know how much that wide receiver upgrade is going to be worth to me in the end, and if I'm okay taking JMO and Marks for Quinshon in the third, then I'll lean Shane's side. Give me JMO, give me BTJ, give me Marks.
Boom. I love it. One side leans Scott, one side leans Shane, and there you go.
I think it's the 12 by 13 of it all, right? I think if it's a 12 by 10, I'm more willing to eat that Quinshon Judkins risk, right?
Yeah.
I think being able just to lock in an extra starter there and get the other shot in Marks in a 12 by 13, 0.15 PPC, I think that makes sense. But Quinshon could be Quinshon, man, and that's what the bet is. So good stuff. Bubba J 971221 brings us a 3-team deal. Gabe, 12 teams, start 11, full PPR, 175 tight end premium. Let's get the calculators out, baby. All right. Deal 1. Emeka Ibuka, KLS. What's his first name? Something Lambert Smith. I've never paid attention to his first name. I only saw his last name. KLS, $10 in fab. We get Dak Prescott, a 26-second, and another 26 seconds. So Dak in 2 seconds for Ibuka, KLS, and $10 in fab, Gabe.
I mean, Dak in 2 seconds. Yeah.
Is Lambert? Yes, Keandre Lambert Smith. He is in Keep Trade Cut, so that's fun. Good for him.
He's probably worth those 10 fab right there that they're receiving as well.
Probably. Okay, so so Dak in 2 seconds over Ibuka. The deal's for Ibuka, right? Let's be honest. The deal's for Ibuka in a 12 by 11. The bet on Ibuka would be that he can ascend in value. People love some Ibuka.
Well, and he's gotten a lot of positive buzz, right, in camp too. I mean, a lot of people are really excited. If Chris Godwin misses any time, I think there's a good chance. We talked about it a little bit last night, Ty, but I wouldn't be surprised though, man, if right out the gate, let's say Chris Godwin misses time, if Jalen McMillan is actually going to be the one that slots into that wide receiver 2 role over Egbuka, right? Jalen McMillan in his own right was really good last year as a rookie, and I expect him to kind of continue that, right, with Baker Mayfield. And so while I do like Egbuka, I mean, it's Dak in 2 seconds for me.
Yeah. I can't disagree. I think it's a savvy way to get the quarterback if that's what you're after. Use it, get in 2 seconds as well. I can use those seconds and go get Jacoby Myers and Deebo Samuel, right? I can figure out, I don't need to nail the wide receiver bet on Ibuka if I can make the rest of my team well. So I think it's probably square. And if Ibuka goes off, he's the best player in the deal. But I'll take Dak in the 2 seconds as well. Okay. Second deal, Gabe. Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray, Rashid Shaheed, and those 2 seconds for Bo Nix, Ibuka, Keandre Lambert Smith, and 10 fab. Okay. So this is a deal where you're going down from Nix, you're going down from Ibuka, you're getting some picks. How do you feel there, man? Splitting your Nix into 2 quarterbacks, Ibuka into Shaheed in 2 seconds, giving up KLS and $10.
I mean, it's really interesting to kind of see. would love to see kind of the team construction of it all, right? I mean, whenever you're going from Knicks to Dak and Kyler Murray, it's kind of hard to kind of say the Knicks side, because I think there's a really good probability that Kyler Murray or Dak can outscore Bo Nix, and then you just get another quarterback on the side of that, right? And so obviously Egbuka over Rashid Shaheed in 2 seconds. But I don't think that gap gets closed by the delta of Kyler Murray and Dak for Knicks, in my opinion.
Oh, something we didn't talk about in the deal, but Egbuka or Dak straight up?
I think it's going to be kind of
because that first deal is about the seconds. It's not so much about that swap. It's about the second. So where does Dak
absolutely. Well, I think it really just kind of depends, right? I think depends on what you need for your team, and I think it also is kind of contingent upon what you think Egbuka can be, right? I mean, if you need a quarterback and you feel like it's kind of a little bit more of a crowded wide receiver room, and you don't think Egbuka is going to get off to a hot start, it's going to be Dak Prescott. But if you think going right out the gate that Chris Godwin's going to miss time and actually Egbuka is going to be the one that slides in as that wide receiver too, then it's probably Egbuka, man. But think about it like this, Ty. Where did you have to draft Egbuka this past year? Right around like the 1.9, 110-ish range, right?
Yeah. Some slipped the 112, 201 early on. That was real nice, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think in the grand scheme of things, I kind of want to lean Dak, but you can probably convince me otherwise depending on what my team needs if I need a wide receiver.
They're back-to-back in ADP. They're back-to-back in ranking. So I think it's a bet on positional needs for a team. So I'm fine with kind of crossing it off. And really, if we zoom out on those first 2 deals, this next part is literally Knicks for Kyler and Shaheed, period. Are you trading your Knicks away for Kyler and Shaheed?
I mean, it's fine. I probably would rather just keep Knicks. But again, I don't think Shaheed closes that gap for me. I'm just not super excited about the New Orleans situation, right? I just don't think Suge out there throwing the ball to Rashid Shaheed is what I want for my fantasy team. And Kyler Murray, again, he's a guy that I like to buy at cost because he's gotten so cheap relative to what I feel like he could produce for you. But he's gotten cheap because he hasn't been producing the way that people expect, right? And so eventually it just kind of catch up to you. So I'm going to just take Knicks, man, over Kyler and Rashid Shaheed.
There we go. So we already answered the last part of the question then because we broke it down that way. So
yeah,
Knicks over so team deal 3. I want Knicks over Kyler and Shaheed as well. I'll just bet on Knicks at that point.
Yeah.
Really, so it's come down to that second deal, right? Because we wanted Dak in the 2 seconds over that. We wanted Knicks over that. So how much is the totality of getting 2 quarterbacks, 2 seconds, and Shaheed for decent players, Knicks, Egbuka, and then KLS and $10? I mean, I think it's a lot on what your team needs for sure.
Yeah.
But you can't tell me they're getting 2 starting quarterbacks, 2 liquid seconds, and a dart throw wide receiver. I'll put him back in dart throw territory until I see him healthy again. But Shaheed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so look, think about it like this too, right? We had talked about Kyler Murray and Shaheed for Knicks, right? Because that's kind of the way that the deals were broken down. But can I interest you if I do Kyler Murray, Rashid in a second for Bo Nix? You're getting an extra second.
A second for Bo Nix. Sure.
Yeah. And I mean, we already said that Dak and Egbuka were back to back. So you're just getting a free 26 second for KLS and $10 a fab.
Yeah, that's a win right now. Yeah. So, yeah.
Again, for me, this is actually one of the better 3-way deals, if I do say so myself. But I do think that the biggest loser, if I had to say one, was STJ at the top. Yeah. Like I said, Egbuka for Dak in 2 seconds, I think was a little bit more expensive than what I'd like to pay. But again, it was actually a lot closer than what we've seen lately in 3-way deals.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I agree. This is one of the better three-way deals we've seen, right? No clear losers, but we can lean one side or the other on all of them. So yeah. I'm curious what the people think, how they all kind of mass out for you. But yeah, no real clear losers. I don't know if we had to say a loser, right? Maybe the bottom part of the deal, because I just don't feel motivated to move off my Knicks for Shaheed, right? So we'll say that side. But anyways, okay, Gabe, we've been chatting it up here, so I'm gonna skip to one of the last deals I want to talk about, because I think we're contractually obligated to talk about the All Gas Trade Show League whenever something goes down in there.
Yeah,
I
agree.
We got two deals to talk about. Okay. So again, this is the All Gas Trade Show Premium Gas League. It's a 14-team start 11 best ball. You got to start 2 quarterbacks, 3 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. You got 2 flex. You got 2.0 tight end premium, juice to running backs and tight ends. There's big play bonuses, all that good stuff. And it's been a little quiet, right? We've all been kind of just like waiting our time, sending some shitty offers back and forth, sending some jabs, right? We've been doing our thing, right?
Oh yeah.
But we had some movement in here the last couple of days, really last like night almost. So Diaz sends away Omarion Hampton and Kyron Williams, Kenneth Walker. He gets back Bo Nix and Keon Coleman. So All Gas Trade Show League just as better as all of us do. So let me know. I mean, that start 3 running back piece, man. Hampton, Walker, Nix, and Coleman in a 14-teamer. How do you feel?
Man, I do think Nix is the best asset in the deal, right? But I am very excited, Ty, for what LAC is doing. And with Najee potentially, who knows? He's kind of out there in limbo right now. Omarion Hampton could be really, really, really damn good this upcoming year. And in the trade show league specifically, it is a 0.15 carry or point per carry as well. So again, having a guy like Kenneth Walker and Omarion Hampton getting added in, guys who do carry the bulk of their load for the team, right? I mean, it's 2 guys that I definitely want to get into. I think for me, Omarion Hampton to Nix, I want Nix, but I want Kenneth Walker way over Keon Coleman. I think I'm going to take Bad Moon Rising side. Just from the start 3 running back aspect of it also, where in a 14 team, man, there's just not 42 good starting running backs. And if you're telling me that I'm getting 2 top 15, 18 guys, give or take, depending on how you feel about Kenneth Walker, it's usually a pretty damn good bet.
I'm honestly surprised how much that start 3 running back has really like made me think hard about that value, especially in best ball where I need a stable. I just don't need 3, right?
Yeah.
I mean, getting your hands on Hampton and Kenny Walker is pretty nice. But let me ask you, if you were trying to kick it to the future, play it a little differently, it's a 14-teamer, so quarterback value is also boosted in there, right? So
yeah.
Are you okay sending away the 2 running backs for the quarterback and Keon? I mean, again, Hampton is just the kind of the big sticking piece for me here a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a guy for me that could really ascend, man, into that high-end running back, into one of the high-end running backs. And so I don't think I would do it, Ty. I don't think I would want to give up Hampton and Kenneth Walker again. That hopium just has me a little bit, you know what I mean? It's got a stranglehold on me right now.
What's the difference? Is it a second?
I mean, it's probably pretty close. Yeah, I would say Omarion in a second for Nix. I think that's probably pretty close. And honestly, some people...
Oh, I'm taking Hampton in the second there, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, if you added a second to Nix, Keon, that... so Nix on a second for Hampton and Walker. Does that make it a little closer for you?
Yeah. I mean, it makes it a little bit closer, but I also think it depends on which second it is. Like, if you're telling me it's a competing second, then I'm probably still not doing that, right? Because, again, we just talked about it, and I think Hampton for Nix is already close enough. Like, again, I'm going to give the nod to Nix, especially because he's a quarterback and it's a 14-team league. But Keon Coleman and Kenneth Walker, I would happily pay Keon Coleman in a second for Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, so Diaz, kick the tires, light the fires. He wasn't done there, right? He could not wait.
When he gets rolling, he just gets rolling, huh?
We should know this at this point, right? He couldn't wait to get that Keon Coleman off the team too. Okay, so he sent Keon and a second away. He got Nick Chubb, DeAndre Swift, and $25 in fact. Let's talk to me, Gabe. Again, All Gas Trade Show League, premium gas, baby. Keon in a second, Swift, Chubb, and 25 in, again, start 3 running back, start 2 wide receiver. Everything we know today. What are you feeling?
Yeah. Oh, man. I like DeAndre Swift. Chicago did nothing in the draft. And
Kyle Monungai.
Yeah, right. And so DeAndre Swift is going to be the guy. in a start 3 running back league, man, I want that over a second pretty easily. And I don't know that Keon Coleman closes that gap if you add Nick Chubb. Again, I mean, I'm not super crazy about Nick Chubb going to Houston because it is a little bit of a crowded running back room, but I do see their opportunity where he could get a couple of starts, man. And I think that's kind of worth the delta here. I think DeAndre Swift is going to be really good as he was last year. And he's a pass catching weapon. So yeah, man, I think this is a lot closer for me, but I think I'm going to lean DeAndre Swift and Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I think this is actually news that's happening today, right? So we got Joe Mixon, scary hours for like this year right now, knowing that he's re-injured the same ankle. Am I getting that right?
Yeah.
But, you're not the be all end all for injury news, I know, but again, it comes down to that running back, man. So especially if I just sent away 2 running backs, right, to get that Bo Nix, and then I basically send the extra piece I got for that Bo Nix away, I get Nick Chubb, Swift, and $25. I see what you're doing, DS. I do. One thing we don't talk about here is just the fact that wide receiver value in this league is a little
depleted.
It's a little fake, right? Because you only got to start 2 of them. It's a 25-man roster, so you can't roster 47 wide receiver darts. But if you have enough to get by with 2, and the wide receiver, I think it's like 1.25 for PPR, if I'm remembering that right? There is a boost to it, but the juice is to running backs, the juice is to tight ends, and wide receiver, you can kind of construct around, especially if you have 1 or 2 guys that can just lock in the starters. So knowing the league, I'm going to lean Chubb, Swift in 25 fab. Any other league, I'm probably just leaning Coleman in the second, just taking that value and moving on. But I think in this league and seeing what Diaz has done, I'm going to take his side of this one.
There you go. He went 1 for 1. Our boy went 1 for 1 over there.
Hey, batting 5,000. That's there. 500, not 5,000. 500. That's Hall of Fame numbers right there.
5,000 is Hall of Fame numbers for sure.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. we got one done in all gas trade show as well, man. You got Hurts. I traded you Devontae Smith, the old Slim Reaper.
Yep.
I got Cortland Sutton and a third. So you're crying to me like I took you out to the woodshed. I just gave me a third and I moved down the wide receiver ladder. Anywho, any more thoughts on that trade, this show, and anything else you got going on, my friend?
No, man, not at all. I think it's been a really fun time. Again, we're getting ready to start gearing up for the football season, which is really, really exciting. And now we're going to start to see the shift, Ty, where people are making trades, man, based on who's scoring. What are you giving for me right now? And it's something that is really, really exciting to see. And again, I think this is a really good opportunity right now for people. If you want some of these rookies, you trade some of those assets, man, where, they are scoring some points. So really, really fun time, man, to be in fantasy football right now.
Absolutely. It's the time you got to start tapping into the news, pay attention to what's going on, right? Making moves, making bets. I've made a ton of deals this week, Gabe, and I feel like I am making maybe too many deals. I'm trying to make my starting lineups look too good too early, but I feel like I'm also doing it on teams that it makes sense to do it on, those clear contending rosters where I can color up, a flex spot or something. That's where I'm making some push-in deals. But I don't want to make too many of those. I don't want to make those late July mistake deals just as I'm bored and want to do something. So gotta stay vigilant, but now's the time to act on some news. So if you want some more, ddfantasyfootball.com, use code TRADES, use code TRADEGOAT. Get in there. We talk ball all day. We got tools to help you make good decisions and some pretty sharp people to keep us in line. Patreon.com/allgas still works. Underdog.com. Use code ALLGAS. Get in there. Get your Underdog on. This was the All Gas Trade Show. We talked the trades of the DD Fantasy Football community. We're going to be back next week. You can't get rid of us now, man. We are here. We are locked in. But we're out of this thing. Peace.